They are beacons of light in Greater Cincinnati, giving their time and energy, making our community a better place, touching the lives of many who just need a guiding hand to succeed. They are the 2023 Men of Honor, and we salute them on this edition of Let's Talk Cincy.
From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Legendary boxer and humanitarian Muhammad Ali said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room on earth." It is that service to others that we celebrate today. Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. The five men you see behind me exemplify the ideals expressed by the great Muhammad Ali. They are the 2023 Men of Honor, men who excel in business, sports, and healthcare, while also giving back and helping people in our community. You'll meet each of the honorees in just a moment. But first, a little history. The Men of Honor, a salute to African-American men, was created back in 2010 to celebrate the accomplishments of men who have succeeded against all odds. 5 men are recognized each year. There are 60 past honorees. Each honoree gives a community group a $5,000 grant provided by the Seven Principles Foundation. I sat down with the president and CEO, Jamia Gamble, to talk about the group's involvement with the Men of Honor.
So the Seven Principles Foundation was founded in 2019 by my parents, Gail and Philip Holloman. It is loosely based on the 7 principles of Kwanzaa because my parents were inspired to give back to the African American community here locally. And so the mission of the foundation is to support other nonprofits by distributing grants that promote the development of African American youth in academics, athletics, arts, music, as well as social development. And we also help with the career development of African American adults. And recently we've added to our mission to support organizations that promote racial equity.
Tell me about the connection with Men of Honor.
So with Men of Honor, we've known Claudia for years, and with starting up the foundation, we were able to provide financial support to her events through the foundation. Specifically right after COVID, once they started having it again in person. And we provide the grants that the honorees provide to the nonprofits that they select. So each nonprofit that they select that aligns with our mission receives $5,000 from us.
What do you think it means to recognize these Men of Honor?
I think it's very profound. My father is one that has been recognized. I think it's always important to acknowledge specifically African American males that have contributed around the community, to also show the youth what they can aspire to. Even last year was the first year I took my son, so he was able to have that experience of witnessing these amazing men being honored, seeing his grandfather's banner hanging as a past honoree, and also getting exposed to that experience of going to a black tie event, and how grand and amazing it was to just have a large group of amazing African American people that have achieved so much for the community.
What else would you like to say about the Men of Honor program and your involvement?
I fully support the Men of Honor. I think it's an amazing program. I hope one day to see my son being honored through it, as well as maybe even my husband. It would be awesome, and also my brother. I'm surrounded by amazing African American men, both in my family and professionally, and I think it's nice for them to have something to aspire to and be acknowledged by the community.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's meet our first 2023 Men of Honor recipient, Jeremiah Kirkland. He is the president and COO of Bethesda Butler Hospital and the executive leader for women's services at TriHealth. Jeremiah awarded his grant money to the STAR Chapter Foundation. I spoke with him and Marcus Bethea from the foundation.
I come from Western New York, really by way of New York City. I've lived in Rochester, New York, about 23 years, and I've got a big family. I've got 7 sisters and 5 brothers. And you know, my parents raised me to believe that anything you do in life, make sure you're contributing to your church and contributing to your community and just trying to make a difference, you know, in the lives of people that you touch. And fast forward many years, moving to Cincinnati, Ohio, 6 years ago, I started to get really interested in what is it like to have community here and to connect with students in the Cincinnati Public School District and really allow them an opportunity to see what it's like to work in healthcare as I took on different leadership opportunities throughout TriHealth. And I'm very thankful to our CEO, Mark Clement, who really gave me an opportunity to start creating partnerships and really start giving youth a chance in Cincinnati to be healthcare professionals in the future. And being named as a Men of Honor, it's a blessing for me, something I never necessarily thought I'd see myself receive or to be up on that stage. Very, very proud of Claudia and the team that really put this event together because my first experience in Cincinnati, seeing a large community of Black professionals in one place, my very first year here was at the Men of Honor, award ceremony, and I was blown away. And I said, man, I am inspired by this work and by the people who have really helped contribute to this and honoring men of color.
Why this organization?
I met Dr. William Buckley, who really embraced me when I moved to Cincinnati, and I hadn't had an opportunity to meet many physicians like Dr. Buckley, who shared with me some of the work he was doing with the STAR Foundation and giving just students an opportunity to continue to thrive and grow and to pursue education past high school. And I said, if there's ever a way I can contribute and give back or a way that I can partner with the STAR Foundation to really help these students receive scholarships and just mentorship, which is important to me. It's what helped me be successful. It's what I received for many years. And I think it's why I'm here today.
Marcus, I should ask you, STAR stands for what?
Yeah, we're service-oriented, talented, action-based, and we want results. And everything that we do is based in that, right? We want to serve our community. We want to use our talents to make sure that we're giving those back to said community, take action, not just talk about the things that we want to see different. And we want to make sure that we're tracking and measuring our results that come from that, and that's obviously the scholarships that we're able to give out, but also sticking with our young people as they go on and go out into the world so we can make sure that they're making a difference in the things that they do as well.
And give me some perspective of how many kids you're working with and what do they do? So
last year we had 11 scholars, high school seniors from the Cincinnati area. They go through an application process, they go through an initial interview, and then the actual program, once they're accepted, they have to participate in service projects. They have to create their own service project. So it's just a opportunity for them to give back to the community because people like Mr. Kirkland are pouring into our scholars, right? So we want to make sure that they understand how important it is that they go out and do the same.
Our next 2023 Men of Honor recipient is well known to Houday Nation. Jim Anderson is a retired running backs coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. He was the team's first African-American coach. Jim awarded his grant to the Kappa Alpha Psi Foundation. He tells us about receiving the honor and the great work being done by his fraternity.
You know, it was a surprise to me. And it was exciting, and yet the humility of just knowing the men that are on the wall is breathtaking, really. And I think it really, the impact is what I've been doing, not only in my coaching career, but what I'm doing since I left the gridiron.
Obviously, people know your experience with the Bengals, but even then, you were doing things to the extent that you could outside of life on the football field. Just talk about what drives you to be involved as you have been over all these years.
Well, I think what drives me is where I'm from and who I really am to the core. You know, I'm that guy, if you go back to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and you ask somebody, you know Jim Anderson, they'll say, oh yeah, I know James. But really, and they'll be talking about my father. But then you say, no, I'm talking about James's son. Oh, you mean Punkin Anderson? You know, and that's who I am. You know, I'm that little boy from 1520B Hillside Village in the projects who God gave grace to make that journey to the National Football League and do the things because of that. And just by never forgetting where you're from and always reaching back to help someone else to really see that particle of light that's going to give them the opportunity to take that next step forward in their life.
Why this organization as the recipient?
Well, I'll put it like this. I'm a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I was a Kappa before I was a lot of things. And I've traveled that journey, and every place I've gone within the fraternity itself, you know, with the men that I've met through all the cities that I've traveled through my profession, I've met a Kappa man, and he's helped me along the way. And I look back and say, what can I do? What can I do to help the next man?
Yeah, so the Kappa Alpha Psi Foundation is really our core arm that we use to do fundraisers, to be able to give back to the community. One of our core things is the black and white ball gala that we have every year. The other component that's heavily used for fundraising is our annual golf tournament. We just recently had our golf tournament at the Heritage Club in Mason. We had over 120 golfers. It was a great experience. And what that does is that allows us to get fundraising funds to help to fund our scholarship fund as well as our the Kappa League program. So for example, the scholarship fund, right, we have given scholarships over the years for the past 30 plus years. Every year the bar, you know, continues to be raised in terms of what we give out, you know, to the community. We typically give 10 to 12 young men anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000. That's the total in each one of them that are matriculating in higher education, typically get a scholarship of $1,000 to $1,500, depending on all of their qualifications.
You know, I tell my grandson all the time, don't talk about it, be about it. And I think that that's important.
And as Jim talked, you know, one of our mottos is on the field, off the field, in every field of human endeavor. And Jim's quote, don't just talk about it, be about it, is something that often and always resonates with me. And I think, you know, his demeanor as he has developed all of those life skills by coaching on the field, right? Now what he's done, he's been able to, and done a fantastic job to rally all the brothers within Kappa Alpha Psi and the foundation to be about it off the field. Don't talk about it, be about it is something that he often, he walks the walk, he talks the talk, and brothers rally around him and we get it done all the time.
Our next honoree is Royce Sutton. Royce is the Senior Vice President, Community Investment Manager for Fifth Third Bank. He chose a program called BYOC, which stands for Build Your Own Computer Camps and Clubs, as his community project grant recipient.
The people who have been recognized by this honor are champions and really stand in the pantheon of greatness around this city here and what they've been able to do. And I'm just glad that I've been able to do some things that maybe have made a difference in some people's lives, some organizations being able to help impact what they do, the body of work.
You tell me why you chose this particular program.
When you think of organizations like BYOC, Build Your Own Computer, It is this concept that you can take a young mind that has no understanding or connection to technology, and you can build a fire. You can stoke a fire inside an individual by exposing them to skills, technology, techniques, with this idea that if you use these skills and these techniques, you can actually create a career for yourself.
I love the way you articulated that. It just really summarized what I'm trying to do, is give kids a vision for themselves to see things beyond what they know and understand that they can change their circumstances, their situation. They can plot a course for their life that's different than what they ever thought they could. It has been a life's work for me. Our slogan is Ignite a Passion for Technology, which that's what we're trying to do. Give kids new understanding and insights and get them to see endless possibilities for themselves.
There was a teacher in my high school in my senior year. He felt like I needed to be one of the commencement speakers for my high school graduation. And I thought he had lost his mind. And he's like, what I want you to run for this. And I came from a high school where out of 420 students, roughly 20 were African American. And so not a lot of us in the school. Put my name on the ballot, and I was selected to be a high school commencement speaker in my class. You know, I had done a few things in school, but never felt like I would be selected for something like that. So that small touch, that teacher felt like I could do it, and then I actually did it, and then actually got a chance to be a speaker at my commencement. I began to lay the framework and the road work for me being able to really step outside of my comfort zone, being able to step into spaces and do things that I thought were limitations, but they were only limitations in my very own mind. But that experience there has made a big difference. And so the person that I am today, the things that I'm doing now, are the results of investments that others have made in me, and I'm just trying to make sure that everything that I do is a reflection of the upbringing that I've had from my parents and my family, but also it's an investment back in others as others have invested in me.
Welcome back. Today we are recognizing this year's Men of Honor. The next honoree is the President and Chief Operating Officer for the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center and retired Procter & Gamble executive, Woodrow Keown Jr. He chose the Freedom Center's Youth Docent program as his grant recipient.
The thing that I feel strongly about is being able to project some sort of role model for the younger people, particularly our young adult males. And so being able to do something that is reflective of some semblance of excellence that this award represents, I think is the thing that I feel best about in terms of being able to look back on that. But it's very difficult for me to kind of self-assess myself in that regard. So I grew up in a pretty tough neighborhood in Little Rock, Arkansas, right across the bridge and right across the city lines where nobody wanted to come. The police came, the guns were drawn, and they were ready to come in to do what they needed to do to bring about peace. But I went from that to, I graduated from high school. I had no money for college, but my parents always stressed education. And it was never an option as to whether or not I was going to go to college, but my dad didn't tell me how he was going to pay for it. He just said, you're going.
The Men of Honor program honors you, but it also allows you to help a program like the Docent program. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for you?
You know, when we refocused our mission to clarify it, we didn't change it, we refocused it and clarified it to be more focused on social justice. And when you look back over history, social justice movements have always been driven by the young. You know, John Lewis and people like that. You know, you can go on and on. I know you know better than I do, probably. And so the Youth Docent Program was one of the first programs I started assessing when I got into the Freedom Center.
Our Teen Docent program is offered to high schoolers, so 9th through 12th grade students in our region who are able to come in person to attend the program. So it is a 6-month span. It runs from September until March of the following year, and students come in on weekends to learn about our galleries and our exhibits, but they also learn how to be modern-day activists and how they can be advocates in their own communities as young people. I interned at the Freedom Center in 2016, so to be able to come back is really special for me, but there were students there who were teen docents when I was an intern, and I used to say to them, like, oh my gosh, I would not be as courageous as you all to be able to do this. So now to be able to have the privilege to teach them is really special for me because they're really, really bright. As we approach more opportunities for young people, I think that he is giving them a platform to be able to be heard and the space to be able to have input. I think that's been very valuable for our community to be able to have input on, you know, what's happening there and what we're doing there, because that can go a long way.
It's all about choices along the way. And we're about trying to teach our young people more about our history, as well as teaching other people about it. And so to be able to start developing this information and sharing this information with these young people at such an early age is very important to keep the social justice movement going, because we've got to have more activists out there doing the work that we need to do. I remember when I was looking at the Freedom Center, when I was considering the job and so forth, I had pretty much decided it was time for me to get off the train. I said, I've had my run, I've done what I can do. Worked with my dad, I've been working with Procter & Gamble, I've been doing this for a long period of time. It's time for someone else to come on and do it, but it takes both.
We also want to recognize 2023 Men of Honor recipient Joe Allen. Joe was not able to join us. He is the Business System Operations Leader for Commercial Engines and Services at GE Aerospace. Joe is passionate about building a new generation of diverse and inspired leaders. His $5,000 grant is going to the Directing Adolescent Development Initiative. The DAD Initiative's mission is to get children of color ready for a successful future by involving them in quality programs, interactions, and experiences. The 2023 Men of Honor Gala is at the Duke Energy Convention Center November 18th from 6 until 10 p.m. Congratulations to Claudia Abercrombie and all of this year's Men of Honor. I'm Curtis Fuller. That does it for today's edition of Let's Talk Cincy. I'll see you next time.